Good morning. Just to continue where we started yesterday, Sichos Likketei Sichos, third Sichos, it's in Parshas Vayishlach, connected with Yud Tes Kislev. So in Vav, we're going to discuss the seeing the above nature in nature. Vav, Teda is doch the Neshama von der Welt. Teda is the soul of the world. The Chazal sagen, as the Welt is baschaffen geworden b'shel Teda shnikras Yisrael. As Chazal tells us that the world was created for the sake of Teda, which is called first. So Teda is the neshama of the world, because why was the world created? It was all for Teda. So it's understood, as we bald Yud Tes Kislev hat aufgetan achillish in Teda, since Yud Tes Kislev, as we explained, it brought a new development in Teda. As we explained yesterday, that the Alter Rebbe accomplished that Chassidus and Nigla is the same thing. It's Hainu Hach, it complements each other. So it's also brought about in a similar development in the world at large. Habir to explain. It's known as Mitzad Helem von Eilam Allein, came in Nur Zukommen zum Ede Leki, was is Melubischen Welt. It's known because of the concealment that categorizes our world. We can only have light that encloses itself in the world, and which is Shem Elikim B'Gematria Teva, which is the name of Hashem Elikim, which is the numerical equivalent to nature. Durch his bonus in Yana Elam came to the idea of Akada as Yesh Ma'al Libidazu, which means by meditating on matters involving the material existence, you can come to the knowledge and recognition that there is a master of the structure. Over Nitzu Shem Havaya was a but it's impossible to come to the name of Havaya, which we know Havaya transcends the nature of our world. Agamas is the Gilif Shem Havaya in the world, even though you do have the revelation of Havaya in the world, was Kumen Farzman Lazman, which is the miracles that come from time to time. From that aspect, nevertheless, is das nicht shaykh zu Welt Gufo. Nevertheless, this is not relevant to the world as it exists on its own context. On the contrary, this represents when you try to upset the natural order of the world. Chassidus accomplished as a Welt Gufo soll sein der Gile Likus, was is Hecher von Welt. Chassidus made it possible for godliness, which is above the nature of the world, to be revealed in the world itself. Was the far is Chassidus mavar oich ba'azborah and seichel anushi. That's why Chassidus provides explanations dependent on mortal wisdom, using examples and analogies from materials that are material zachen. The Welt is miyuchad mit den Edeliki was the second of the Welt, which speaks about that the world is at one with Hashem's light that transcends the world. So that's what Chassidus accomplished. Chassidus accomplished that in Welt there should be a Gilei Likus, which is higher than the world. You should have an appreciation and understanding of Shem Havaya. Chelik Tes Vav. I'll have copies tomorrow with Hashem. Okay, Zayin. Now, I want to speak a little bit more about seeing the wonders. Okay, as we explained, this is connected, Parshas Vayishlach, that Rebbe said. Parshas, we always read down from the Shalom. So we brought that Vayishlach and Yud Tes Kislev have an intrinsic connection between the two. And just like Vayishlach, Rashi says, Vayivasel Yaakov Levadei, there's two polar, contradictory explanations. On one hand, you're saying, Vayivasel Yaakov Levadei, articulate Levadei L'Kadei, that Yaakov Avinu went back to get his drugs, which is Pachim Ktanim, something which is very insignificant. On the other hand, the Medrash says that Ma Hashem Nisko Levadei, just like Hashem is called, he's exalted, he's higher, so too, Yaakov, we're talking about Yaakov at the level when Mashiach comes, when Nisko Hashem Levadei. So, on one hand, you're saying that it's Pachim Ktanim, insignificant. On the other hand, you're saying insignificant. The same thing with Yud Tes Kislev. Why was Chassidus revealed only now? So on one hand, you're saying Chassidus was revealed now because we're living in a state of Cheshach Kofel L'Chupol, a time that Gullus is very, very severe, and the darkness is there's no greater darkness than now. So therefore, you need to bring a light to illuminate the darkness. And then you're saying that that since we're standing at the Ikvus of the Mashiach, we're standing at the like just like there's a din of Erev Shabbos, that on Erev Shabbos Te'emeh Chaim Zachul, you have to taste some of the food. So we're tasting. You're tasting in terms of the revelation what's going to be when Mashiach comes, and that's this. So look this. Now that I've explained this, it's possible to say as the mitzvah mavur was the Alter Rebbe steigt in some bewusste brief. It's known what the Alter Rebbe writes in his famous letter that he wrote about Yud Tes Kislev, as the Gula of Yud Tes Kislev was given from Hifli Hashem Higdal Azis Baritz. Alter Rebbe writes in his well-known letter, he says that the redemption of Yud Tes Kislev occurred in a manner in which Hashem performed wonders and great deeds, Higdal, within the earth. Now, based on the Sefer Beis Rebbe quotes the Alter Rebbe as emphasizing basically the wondrous nature of Yud Tes Kislev through, and he uses the word Hashem performed wonders and great deeds within the earth. Hashem brought great deeds and performed wonders within the earth, and he says this 3 times. He says 100 times the word of Hifla Hashem Higdal Azis Baritz. Hashem performed wonders and great deeds within the earth. Now, what does that mean? In Amseda Anoga from the Eberster 50 Welt, the 2 general modes to which Hashem manifests his Seder in the world is as follows. Aleph, Hanhaga al Piateva. You have the mode of Hashgacha Pratis, which stems from, which is al Piateva. Welche zet sich on it begilei zet sich nicht on begilei der Chayes Likketei. You don't see, in a revealed way, you don't see the Chayes Likketei, the godly light in everything. But then how come with Sadam Shem Alikim, which that comes from Shem Alikim. So you have Shem Alikim, which that's the way, the natural order, which Hashem's life energy is there, and it's not, you don't recognize it. You don't recognize. And then Beis, you have Hashgacha Pratis Begoli. Then you have how Hashgacha Pratis, which is revealed. And the Hanhaga Tev is Nikki, the Erev Chayes Likketei, the Hashgacha Pratis was the Hanhaga Nemzich for Shem Havaya. Then you have Hashgacha Pratis, which stems from Havaya, which the Hashgacha is manifest within the natural order, and you see it. That comes from that Hanoga comes from the name, the Shem Havaya. Now, the Rebbe says in der Hanoga for Shem Havaya Gufas and Afran Farshidin Ifan. In the mode of Hashgacha Pratis, which stems from the name of Havaya itself, there are different ways of how it's expressed. Aleph, in an Eifum Fun Kivyochel Katnos, as the Hashgacha Pratis with the head in the Hanhaga Bedarke Ateva, and then you have the way that how the Hashgacha Pratis can be appreciated within the natural order. And then you have Beis and an Ephraim from God, but it's in the way of Kivyochel Katnus. Hashgacha Pratis is like can be appreciated within the nature of the world. And then you have Beis and an Ephraim from Godless. He will bechuli when das wird der Herd und anplegt in an Hanhaga was es hechach mit Teva. That is my Chazal Dover Hagadol Meisim Merkova. And then you have the way, which is the prominent expression, the godless. Hashgacha Pratis is manifested and revealed in a manner which transcends the natural order. And the greatness of this Hashgacha is realized and appreciated in a manner that what Chazal tell us, a great godly matter, which what's that? Chazal say this is the secrets of the Meisim Merkava. So that's in Shem Havaya. You have the way Shem Havaya is. You have the way Hashgacha Pratis is appreciated in Darkei Teva, and then you have in the way of godless, which means that the Hashgacha is revealed in a manner which transcends the natural order, which is like Meisim Merkava. Now, aber euch Higdal weist, Hanoga was hat an Erech bescheiches zu der Hanoga von Tat Kanus. Even Hashgacha Pratis, which is expressed in a manner of godless, it's proportionate to the expression of the Hanoga of Katnus. In other words, in both instances, we're speaking about how the Eberster is manifested within the context of our world. In other words, the hashgacha is manifested in a manner that transcends nature, but the difference is to the degree and to how great the manifestation is. Aber sie says this.
Not explain like Kiyasams would fall into it. None of these Kiyasams.
So let's see. Aber Higdil weist if Hanaga was hat an Erech beschäftigt zu der Hanaga verkannt. Also, when you say Higdil is great, also has some sort of proportion. It's proportionate to the expression of katnus. It says in them zelben su not aggressor. It's in the same manifestation, but it's just greater. Amol asakresser aber nicht beinarei von Hanaga teva. It's greater at times. It's mamish staggering, but it has one common denominator. It's not beyond the natural order entirely. Then you have Gimel, the Haga and Anefim from Hifli was moved from Haga Satev. Then you have another expression that's entirely beyond the natural order, which this expression has, like it says, Hifli, Hashem performed wonders, which implies something that's not at all conceivable according to the ordinary pattern of existence. So you have, what the Rebbe explained is you have what's the Alter Rebbe said in his famous letter. He said the expression of Hifli Hashem v'higdil asis ba'aretz. So the Rebbe says that in the way that the Eibishter conducts the world, you have the way the Eibishter conducts the world in Teva. So you don't really see the chayes of the key, and then you have the hashgacha pratis, which is begolei, that the way the hanhaga of Teva is nicker. In Teva, you see the area of chayes of the key in the hashgacha pratis, which that comes from Shem Havai. And then the Rebbe says that in Shem Havai itself, you have the way that it's in a way of katnus, which means the hashgacha pratis is appreciated in darki hateva, and then you have in a way of godless, which is like the Ma'aser Merkava, but even Higdil has a connection has some type of erech to Katnus, but it's just a lot greater. And then the third level you have is the way the expression of how Hashem conducts the world in the way of Hifli, which this is how Hashem performs. It's beyond natural order. It's not even conceivable at all.
What's the difference between the first two?
So that's what the Rebbe's going to go in. The Rebbe's going to go 3 levels within miracles. So that's what the Rebbe's going to explain. Yes. The 3 forms expression of Shem Havaya are reflected in 3 types of miracles. All right? So we said in Havaya, you have the way of Havaya, which is Katnus, you have the way of Godless, and you have Hifli. So what's the difference? Aleph. Nisam was einem lobischen Darkat Teva bis as is nicht kentig. As is a Nes, wie der Nes from Purim. So you have like this. You have like miracles which are enclosed within their natural order to the extent that the miraculous nature of the event is not like perceivable. Like let's say Purim, which wasn't really an obvious miracle that took place. Even though this is an expression stemming from the name of Havaya, the Baal is in them. The Hashgacha Pratis, it says, "Das Abrin an even for Kiviyachal Kadras Canal." Now, even though you have Hashgacha Pratis, but Hashgacha Pratis is not so apparent because so that's what will be considered like Kadnas, as explained above. Why? Because people could say in the story of Purim, you had Esther, and you had everybody had connections. This is unfortunate. So many lists that go on in history. Right. For sure, that's definitely a nest, but it's a nest. It's the nest that stems from Hashem Havaya. But you could explain it. You don't really see. If somebody wants to, you can start explaining the Hashgacha Pratis is not so Hashgacha Pratis. This is what we do. Unfortunately, we're all victims of this. Is that we all start explaining how it's not really a miracle, and we start justifying up these teva why it makes a lot of sense. So that's the first type of nest. And then you have Nisim Gluyim. Then you have miracles that are revealed. So you have miracles that are revealed, but which relate and are attached to the natural order. For example, this is the conquest of Yericho by Yeshua, Achdem Nes von the Filas Achema, and Nes was is nit given, Melubish and Daketava, is Vayala Om, Ugamer, Reachnimu, Kuli, Ugamer, Lefi, Chodeb. Like it says that, so after the wall fell in a miraculous manner, a miracle which was not clothed in natural order, it says the people arose and destroyed, and it says they destroyed everything that was in the city by the edge of the sword. Anachiza in Teva. So this means that the actual battle was necessary, but it was an attachment. So you had a miracle, but it was attached to the natural order. But this Yeser, to become a little bit more precise example, Mechemes Midian. This is the war against Midian. The Torah says that the Yidden were told, arm men from amongst yourself for the army, and they marched against Midian, and they had an actual war. However, at the same time, simultaneously, there were no casualties, and not one man was missing. This was obviously beyond the natural pattern of war. I'm just saying, everything. I always say, Likketei Sichos. Practical Sichos is mamish the Rebbe telling us what's going on nowadays. If you realize, every single Sicha that we're learning from Parshas Bereishis till now is mamish. What's the last time I'm using that? What's going on nowadays? So you see, people are saying, Israel, what they're going to do? This is what's needed over here. We're going to have a nest of L'mayla. You see in history, the Ebershter made Yericho. They made this which is the Ma'amin Ateva. Adarach HaSipar Yedua, like the well-known story. As Amol is Maltanebn Gekumen Achela. That once a sick person came to the Alter Rebbe, was all the doctors basically they despaired from healing him. Couldn't find any refuah. The Alter Rebbe gesagt, as er soll essen a halbe Shmura Matzah mit Wasser, or is gesund geworden. So the Alter Rebbe told him, should he eat half of a Shmura Matzah with water? He followed the directive and he regained his health. Now the Cheda is Astiri Minei Ubeit. So on the surface, the story is the Cheda contradiction. On one hand, the Alter Rebbe, they're not davening for the man. What did he tell him? He advised the sick person to perform an act which affected his body and strengthened his health. But Dalek Yateva, haben Shmura Maser, aber von der zweiten Seite, Dalek Yateva, haben Shmura Maser mit Wasser, kein Scheiches, nicht zu vor, was Dr. Rebbe haben ihm abgesagt. Now, on the other hand, the Alter Rebbe didn't daven for him. On the other hand, according to the natural order, Shmura Matzah and water cannot provide a remedy to sick people. All the doctors, the spirit of this healing. So, what's going on over here? It's like, the Rebbe said this, Nar Kanal. The refuah is given out, the healing came from a source above the natural order. However, it had an attachment to the natural order in Teva. And then Gimel, then you have Nisevas haben afilu nitken achiz in Teva. You have the miracles which don't even have an attachment to the natural order. As every did a tough in Nisi in a Eifim from Chizkiah Hot Kazak Ani Yashar Amitasi. This is like the miraculous manner which the armies of Sanchedim were devastated at the time. Chizkiah Melech was saying, "I want to sleep in my bed," and yet he was victorious. So this is obviously an achiza. Nissa, which is higher than nature. All right, tomorrow, how much more do we have? What is it? Tes and Yud? Tes, Yud.